Next, India is an economic powerhouse. Time has come to see it more active in Latin America. So, कैसे there can be more integration between India and the Latin American countries like Chile, फिर Brazil, Argentina. Talk about all these countries, even Mexico. फिर lithium. Majorly, when we talk about Chile, highest deposits are present in this country itself, highest deposits of lithium. So the possible investment opportunities or for India in lithium and copper deposits in Chile, exports of mangoes and medicines from India, balancing between China and other parts, India's role in Russia-Ukraine war. So these are all the major aspects that are linked with the trade between India and Chile. So mainly article is focused on Chile.
And यहाँ पे as we talk about lithium triangle also, so the three countries who are a part of it is Chile, Argentina, and Bolivia. So apart from this, Argentina के साथ we are having again, Kabil is having a deal specifically in terms of exploration of lithium and other minerals, which are again critical minerals. So they are important for even the development of semiconductor chips, also for the batteries manufacturing, and the chips, they are important, we can say, a critical input in terms of even for the automobile industry. And for Brazil, as we have been seeing that again, there also we are strengthening our cooperation, be it for the South-South cooperation or be it for again the clean energy sources for ethanol or for the sugarcane sector particularly. So there we are strengthening our relations with Brazil also on similar lines. So जैसे हम अफ्रीका की बात करते हैं तो on those lines only we need to talk about again the importance of Latin America also. But the stability, economic stability is a challenge as when we're talking about Venezuela. So Venezuela, maybe we are seeing incidences of hyperinflation. There is like a political instability. There are military coups. So that is also a concern, particularly about the neighboring countries.
Further major two sectors जिसमें हम ट्रेड कर रहे हैं they are very characteristic of our economy which are very characteristic of our economy जैसे कि minerals especially copper और फिर agriculture तो exporting agricultural products to India especially nuts wines and other agricultural products लेकिन of course variety increase करनी है to go beyond nuts and wine फिर terms of medicine in our market तो medicinally भी there are several exports that I see. Ties with other countries.
Even in other areas like cultural exchanges, defense ties, science and technology, and space sector. So these are also the areas where we're equally focusing upon.
Next, control room for election complaints. So regarding illegal movement of liquor or sale of illicit liquor.
So this is showcasing good governance. This is an example of good governance, how we are ensuring that there will be free and fair elections. So your vigilance, our strength, voter helpline भी है 1950. So जैसे अभी हम ऊपर बात कर रहे थे in case of Delhi is controlling the air pollution, what measures should be taken, तो वहाँ पे हम green control room की बात कर रहे थे. So particularly जो state assembly elections हरियाणा में होने वाले हैं, so again control room for election complaints have been made.
Jiu-Jitsu and Aikido, the two martial arts which trace their origin in Japan and are popular around the world for self-defense. The significance of this gentle art, a harmonious blend of meditation, Jiu-Jitsu, Aikido, and non-violent conflict resolution techniques. तो majorly they are for self-defense. तो gentle art क्यों बोला जा रहा है? Striking with bare hands against armored samurai was ineffective. Practitioners came up with efficient ways of neutralizing the opponent in form of pins, joint locks and throws. So the movements here, they are being referred to as soft subtle. तो तरह का ये cultural process we can say of developing this system of defense. And Aikido, again, it is a derivative of Jiu-Jitsu, which was developed by Morihei Ueshiba in the early 20th century. The way of harmonizing energy. तो जैसे हम योगा की भी बात करते हैं, फिर ऐसे ही मार्शल आर्ट्स एंड दीज टेक्निक्स like Jiu-Jitsu and Aikido specifically, they are all such ways of unifying the mind, body, and soul. कि कैसे how this is more of related to warfare, etc., and how can we defend ourselves. But it is the major integration and the balance between the mind and the body. But also as life skills, they are important. तो several other offshoots भी हैं इसके, जैसे कि judo, which was developed in late 19th century from several traditional styles of jiu-jitsu. तो ये ओलंपिक स्पोर्ट भी बन गया इन द 1964 टोक्यो गेम्स. फिर सांबो की हम बात करते हैं. सोवियत रेड आर्मी ने इसको डेवलप करा था इन द 1920s to improve soldiers hand to hand combat abilities. तो अगेन
तो ये तो
1920s में majorly there was a civil war in Russia. The Soviet Red Army, it used it. Sambo.
ठीक
So
है, ये सारे हो इंटरनेशनल एग्जाम्पल, लेकिन इंडिया में भी तो हमारी कुछ ट्रेडिशनल टेक्निक्स होगी जिनको हम सेल्फ डिफेंस के लिए बोल सकते हैं. दे आर यूज्ड, दे आर पार्ट ऑफ अगेन द ट्रेडिशन, ऑल्सो लोकल कल्चर का पार्ट है. फॉर एग्जाम्पल वी हैव कलारी पयट्टू. तो दिस इज वन ऑफ द ओल्डेस्ट martial art in the world. So this is there in Kerala. And then we have Gatka. Gatka is in, again, it is having originations from Punjab. तो Sikh martial tradition का part है Gatka. तो apart from this, Chakar is a popular technique Gatka में. Then circular movement है to defend against the attacks. Then Silambam. So this is from Tamil Nadu. ये भी एक traditional martial art form है. Silambam sticks use की जाती है इसमें. Then Thangta. Thangta is from Manipur. And then Lathi Khela. Lathi Khela is in Bengal. And Mardani Khel is martial art from Maharashtra. Bhuj technique इसमें यूज की जाती है, short dagger. Then पहलवानी भी नो, कुश्ती जिसको हम बोलते हैं, तो that is also, वो भी एक सेल्फ डिफेंस की टेक्निक हो सकती है. हरियाणा एंड देन और पंजाब भी बोल सकते हैं. देन क्रव मार्क तो हमें पता होना चाहिए. अगेन दीज नेम्स, तो दीज हैव बीन डेवलप्ड बाय इजरायली डिफेंस फोर्सेस. ठीक है, अडेप्टेड इन इंडिया ऑल्सो. 360 डिग्री डिफेंस इसका पार्ट है. तो योगा बेस्ड सेल्फ डिफेंस भी है, वज्र मुष्टि इन इंडिया. योगा बेस्ड सेल्फ डिफेंस. ठीक है, ये सारे इंडियन टेक्निक्स के एग्जांपल है.
next, segregation is no answer. Relief of escaping Mr. Space Hog. तो यहाँ पे an airline has recently rolled out a feature जो allow करता है women passengers to avoid sitting next to men in a bid to make flying safer for them. Is this the right or wrong way out? The first article says segregation is no answer. कि ये solve problem नहीं करेगा of the mid-air misbehavior by the male passenger. Again, obviously, segregation is not the way out. क्योंकि that will not change the mindset. Specifically यहाँ पे airspace की बात नहीं
बिहेवियरल
करते,
चेंज
but
नहीं
in
होगा,
other
राइट.
areas as well. They might face problems. So main जो problem है, that is of mindset. That needs to be changed. Yes, Mansi.
So of India, like we have only 15% women pilots in India. And in like the way ahead for the global average of 5%, then ठीक है, way ahead of the global average of 5% है. But again, this needs to be increased more जब हम gender equality की बात करते हैं and participating in the labor force of India. So We need to, again, young women, they need to break the barriers to enter traditionally male dominated fields. For example, civil aviation is definitely one of them. So just in case of defense forces, we saw कि उनको women, they got the permanent commissioning. So even in case of uh, airline also, we can see certain measures that can promote their safety and hence their participation. And जैसे कि आपने बोला कि again this will not be changing the behavior of the males, जो root cause है of the problem. If this is again a superficial solution, हम बोल सकते हैं कि segregating, dividing the seats and deciding, women deciding whether they need to be, seated next to male or not. So it is superficial, it is symbolic.
And इधर एक लाइन में लिखी है, airline staff can and should isolate the perpetrator rather than nudging women to isolate themselves. And isn't it kind of similar to the way जब हम बोलते हैं कि even in school time जैसे segregate कर देते हैं हम कि there will be 2 rows for maybe the boys and separate rows and seats for the girls. So that only enhances the curiosity and it doesn't help in normalizing being with women and dealing with women. Again, similar to the mindset जब हम बात करते हैं कि why do women need to be addressed only in the way of like mumma या बहन? They can also be a friend and similarly उतनी ही respect should be given to them. So we have women only compartments in train. What is wrong with extending the concept to aircrafts? This is another argument regarding it. कि कैसे metros etc. maybe we have separate compartments. तो how it is a normal thing and कैसे वो तरह का opportunity दे रहा है, एक choice दे रहा है कि if they want so they can choose this because again it is not a compulsion. तो ये एरिया भी यहाँ पे आ जाता है. So they can be more relaxed and easy and comfortable travel हो सकता है. Next, aviation regulator places SpiceJet under strict watch. The Dubai airport refuses to check in passengers over delayed payments by airline. This is regarding the management for DGCA, Directorate General of Civil Aviation. So कैसे even the price fluctuations etc. all they must be managed. Mansi, you can add what is important in this.
ठीक है, we just need to be aware कि again if there are problems in SpiceJet, then it will create more strengthening of oligopoly in case of the aviation sector in India. It will further be enhancing the monopoly powers, also concentration of powers in the hands of few players. For example, we also talk about that there'll be merger between Air India and Vistara. So lesser number of players will be moving away from the market-based competition merely on the basis of demand and supply. So going forward, we need to again keep this thing also in the mind when we're talking about the civil aviation sector reforms, whether it is related to the pricing, that we need to have a proper formula to decide the prices of the airfares, the air tickets.
Next, Nilgiri's ration shop fortified to keep wild elephants and sloth bears at bay. So wild elephants and sloth bears raiding fair price shops in the Nilgiris, Tamil Nadu have given officials the State Food and Civil Supplies Department food for thought. So much like the rice-loving wild elephant which frequented ration shops in Kerala, animals have been shoplifting, forcing the authorities to create a 3-layer security to keep the granaries and go down safe. So again, this is regarding why is this condition being created? Why don't they indigenously and they have their own natural food present with themselves? Why is there a need? तो major challenges क्या है? Fragmentation of the forest and the land area specifically for the wildlife, and also regarding the encroachment, land encroachment for agricultural purposes. These are the major challenges जो further initiate या फिर stimulate करते हैं the human wildlife conflict को. So creating specific habitats for them, long chains and special corridors, जैसे हम elephant corridors की भी बात करते हैं, इन सबको create करना important होता है for their benefit. Plus
And when we
जो
talk about sloth bears, so their IUCN status is vulnerable, and sloth bears are primarily found in the Indian forest. Smaller populations have in Nepal, Bhutan, and Sri Lanka, and they are found in the Terai Arc landscape in Western Ghats and in Eastern Ghats. They are preferring the उनके natural habitat जो है, that is tropical dry forest, moist deciduous forest, and scrublands and grasslands. So they are a part of Schedule 1 of the Wildlife Protection Act 1972 and even Appendix 1 of the CITES Convention.
एंड प्लस जो इन्वेसिव स्पीशीज होती है उनका इंट्रूजन आल्सो इन द नेचुरल इकोसिस्टम दैट इम्पैक्ट्स द एक्चुअल फूड ऑफ द एनिमल्स, तो इससे भी इम्पैक्ट होता है.
Hmm.
Sun exotic trees plant local species. Again, the same pointer says advisory from Andhra Pradesh Forest Department. तो जैसे कि हमने वाटर हयासिन की बात करी थी कि कैसे टेरर ऑफ बंगाल उसको बोला जाता है बिकॉज इट डिप्लीट्स ऑल द ऑक्सीजन that is present. So on the similar lines, there are several other species as well, जो कि जो indigenous species होती है उनको अटैक करते हैं. They derive all the nutrition from them. So as parts of this afforestation drive, aim हुआ है to increase the green cover to more than 33% of the state's geographical area by the Andhra Pradesh Forest Department. So they have recommended the municipal commissioners, Zilla Parishad CEOs, etc., to choose trees from among a list of 25 indigenous species. और exotic species specially mentioned 3 exotic species इनको plant नहीं करना जो कि detrimental है to the environment and even to human health. जैसे कि name अगर हम देखें तो Conocarpus erectus called buttonwood mangrove. It is currently subject matter of a public interest litigation petition. So they suck more water out of the soil than any other species and cause respiratory illness, cold, cough, and allergies in the people during winter. Further,
And if,
Astonia scholis, जिसको हम devil's tree बोलते हैं. And third is Terminalia mantle, umbrella tree या फिर Madagascar almond. These are the 3 species that I mentioned here.
And even जो local varieties है, why they are important? Because they can actually adapt, or they are the best suited for India's climate conditions or the environment that we have, or even when we're talking about the recent challenges, for example, they can act as natural barriers to disaster also. They have much longer life compared to these exotic species. Even exotic species जो हैं, they are like, they can turn into invasive species anytime, so that will create more problems. And even Indian जो local varieties, local species हैं, they are having the traditional value in the sense like they might be having certain medicinal properties also. So Ayurveda जो आयुष ministry promote कर रहे हैं, so वो एक benefit भी हो सकता है.
And similarly, एक benefit evolution का भी हो सकता है. There will be better evolution that will take place of the actual species and the related organisms. So pastoralist versus policy. So the fight for grazing rights in Maharashtra's forest is matter of survival for the Dhangars, say leaders from the tribal community. So the shepherds they struggle with finding legal pastures for their sheep, even as the migratory way of life ends. तो अगेन यहाँ पे एक हम ये चीज सोच सकते हैं कि हाउ इज द गवर्नमेंट एलोकेटिंग लैंड टू डिफरेंट सेक्शंस ऑफ सोसाइटी, जैसे व्हेन वी टॉक अबाउट इंडस्ट्रियलाइजेशन या फिर सेटिंग अप ऑफ प्रोजेक्ट्स एटसेट्रा से अंडमान निकोबार नेवी, तो हाउ विद environmental impact assessment is that being done and to different sections of society, जैसे कि shepherds etc who are much more prone to the economic vulnerabilities of life. So कैसे even the tribals which are very much more primitive and they depend on the natural wildlife and the natural sources themselves. तो एक ये फैक्टर आ जाता है एंड देन सेकंड इज रिगार्डिंग ग्रासलैंड्स. ये इकोलॉजिकल कंसर्न है कि कैसे जो ग्रासलैंड एक्सेट्रा है जो ओवर ग्रेजिंग होती है, इवन दैट इम्पैक्ट्स द नेचर.
So as यहाँ पे जैसे policy की बात हो रही है, policy versus the pastoralists. So restrictions on grazing lands have been imposed under certain laws like the Forest Conservation Act of 1980, then Wildlife Protection Act of 1972. तो फॉरेस्ट कंजर्वेशन के गार्ब के अंडर देयर हैव बीन restricted access to traditional grazing lands. So this is hampering even we can say the further growth of even livestock industry in India. And for example, we are seeing कि even in Himachal Pradesh also, जो गद्दी community है, गद्दी pastoralists, they're facing restrictions on grazing grounds and the access. Then there is again decline of common property resources. जैसे विलेज कॉमन्स होते हैं, ग्रेजिंग लैंड्स होते हैं वहां पे. जैसे हम ग्लोबल कॉमन्स की बात करते हैं तो इवन पैस्टरलिस्ट जो हैं दे रिलाई मोर अपॉन द कॉमन ग्राउंड्स. तो वाटर बॉडीज हैं, दे आर ऑल्सो पार्ट ऑफ विलेज कॉमन्स. सो दे वी आर सीइंग कि प्राइवेटाइजेशन एफर्ट्स ज्यादा है जिसकी वजह से अगेन कॉमन प्रॉपर्टी रिसोर्सेज आर ऑल्सो डिक्लाइनिंग. फॉर एग्जाम्पल इन राजस्थान वी हैव द रायकाज या रबरीज बोलते हैं. So this community rears the camels. So they have also lost significant amount of grazing grounds due to encroachment of sacred groves and the grazing lands of the agricultural expansion, industrialization, urbanization. So even in that is why also planned urbanization और important हो जाता है. And conflict over protected areas and wildlife conservation. So ये भी दो we can say कि एक ethical dilemmas है एक तरीके से. For example जो वन गुज्जर्स community है उत्तराखंड और हिमाचल प्रदेश में they reside. So they have faced evictions also from the forest areas जैसे राजाजी national park है, Jim Corbett national park. So this affects their migratory lifestyle and access to the forest resources. Then Scheduled Tribes and Other Traditional Forest Dwellers Act is there 2006 जिसको Forest Right Act भी बोलते हैं. So this recognizes the rights of forest dwelling communities, including pastoralists also, for the access to the forest resources, but challenges and their implementation has been uneven across different states, and they are facing the bureaucratic hurdle also. They are not so aware about their rights, what are the provisions which are supporting their rights in this act, and their resistance from the forest departments also. So water scarcity, resource management, this is also important. Modernization and agricultural practices. So states, they are promoting settled agriculture. And these are again, they are having migratory lifestyle. So this is not protected or safely promoted by even the state authorities or state governments. So example, जैसे महाराष्ट्र में डांगर्स community है, shepherd community है. So they are, as it is mentioned in this article, they're facing the pressure to settle down and abandon their nomadic lifestyle. But what about the alternatives? How are they going to survive? That is the main question.
Next, biotech enigma. Biotechnology initiatives need long-term capital investment. So the cabinet had cleared a proposal through, though without specifying a budget, called BioE3 or biotechnology for economy, environment, and employment. So employment pretty basic, mainly for the scientists, etc., and even for the mediators इकोनॉमी में अगेन जीडीपी ग्रोथ जैसे हम बात करते हैं ऑफ द जेनेटिकली इंजीनियर्ड क्रॉप्स, तो उसमें इट कैन बूस्ट फर्दर एम्प्लॉयमेंट ऑफ फार्मर्स एटसेट्रा एज वेल, कैसे वो एफिशिएंसी को इनहांस कर सकते हैं। फिर इन्वायरमेंट की अगर बात करते हैं तो हाउ इट कैन हेल्प द ऑर्गेनिजम्स एक्चुअली, जैसे कि फ्लेवर सेवर की बात करते हैं हम टमाटो में, दैट वाज इंट्रोड्यूस, गोल्डन राइस की हम बात करते हैं, एंड इवन इन टर्म्स ऑफ मिल्क कैसे इट कैन हेल्प। इट्स thrust to boost manufacturing in the biotechnology sector. तो वैक्सीन में भी India's reputation as a vaccine factory is due to the initiatives of this department. और IIT revolution, तो bioplastics, biomaterials, gene modification, high value microbes and high precision medical devices. These are all such ways that can help. And despite the know-how and human resource capital, only few Indian biotechs have global resonance. So ज़्यादा integration is required, more budget is required in terms of research and development as well. I guess it is less than 1% अभी GDP का that is spent on research and development R&D, near to 0.7% maybe. So reliance on imports. So again, self-reliance, self-efficiency, इसको enhance करना. Smart proteins, chemicals, enzymes.
हम्म, ये बोला जा रहा है कि 1986 से वी आर हैविंग द डिपार्टमेंट ऑफ बायोटेक्नोलॉजी, देन स्ट्रक्चरल रिफॉर्म्स हमें देखने को मिले इन द 1990s डेकेड, बट उस टाइम पे जो आईटी सेक्टर में ग्रोथ देखा गया वो बायोटेक्नोलॉजी सेक्टर में नहीं देखा गया। तो ये जो चैलेंजेस यहाँ पे मेंशन किए गए कि फॉर एग्जांपल उस टाइम पे बहुत ज्यादा कंपटीशन या फिर बहुत ज्यादा फोकस सिर्फ आईटी सेक्टर पे देखने को मिला। एग्रीकल्चर सेक्टर पे भी हमने देखा कि उनका जीडीपी कंट्रीब्यूशन has declined after the 1990s reforms. So similarly is the case for biotech industry also, ki this showcases the significance of the support by the public sector, by the government. So that is why now we are having the Bio E3 policy, which is pushing more developments, more availability of again finances for research and development, more structural, we can say, facilities and the availability, more labs, and again more integration with different sectors when it comes to the promotion. So benefits are huge, and that is why we are now focusing, because again climate change is a major challenge in front of us and the solutions lie in the biotech industry.
Analyzing the gender budget of 2024-25. This again is regarding the increase. So the GB gender budget it's 1% of GDP estimates 2024-25 for the first time. And the overall allocation then is stand at more than rupees 3 lakh crore for pro-women programs. Mansi, you can highlight the important aspects in this. वैसे चार्ट
Okay,
को
so
देखे तो
तो जेंडर बजट में जैसे दो पार्ट्स होते हैं, पार्ट ए और पार्ट बी। तो पार्ट ए इज पर्टिकुलरली जो डायरेक्टली वुमेन वेलफेयर के लिए या द पार्टिसिपेशन इन द लेबर फोर्स की बात करता है, एंड देयर इज 100% एलोकेशन फॉर वुमेन अंडर द पार्ट ए। सो इट इज शोकेसिंग, जो ब्लू बार्स हैं, दे आर शोकेसिंग कि कितना एलोकेशन हुआ है अंडर पार्ट ए। तो यू कैन सी इट इज सिग्निफिकेंटली इंक्रीज्ड आफ्टर 2022-23. So that is why now it is able to again reach up the level of 1% of the GDP in terms of total allocation. So 34% increase is being witnessed. This is what the graph is showcasing. अगर आप थोड़ा इसको squeeze करोगे तो we can see the other important features and the changes that have taken place. So average share of 5% total budgetary allocations with marginal ups and downs. ठीक है, तो here we have different schemes. For example, ठीक है, पार्ट ए हमने देख लिया। तो apart from the increase in this, part C hai. This is a third part on the gender budgeting that reports pro-women schemes with less than 30% provisioning for the women in part C. So part B में I think part B और देखना पड़ेगा part ए मेंशन्ड है इधर पार्ट ए में जो स्कीम्स हैं और जो चेंजेस हमें देखने को मिल रहे हैं सडन इंक्रीज इन द एलोकेशंस सो दिस इज प्रधानमंत्री आवास योजना में वी आर सीइंग पर्टिकुलरली रूरल एंड अर्बन में दे आर स्टार्टेड गेटिंग रिफ्लेक्टेड इन पार्ट ए पार्ट बी में जो है दे आर अगेन एलोकेशंस ऑफ बिटवीन 30% to 99% फॉर वुमेन एंड लेस देन 30% जो होगा वो पार्ट सी होगा देन आवास योजना है देन प्रधानमंत्री मुद्रा योजना की हम बात कर सकते हैं सेल्फ हेल्प ग्रुप्स प्रमोशन की बात कर रहे हैं देन पीएम एम्प्लॉयमेंट जनरेशन प्रोग्राम इज देयर व्हिच असिस्ट द एंटरप्रेन्योर्स stand up india scheme is for particularly women the national rural livelihoods mission is then mg narega scheme is there apart from this so ये तो हो गया again on the part of the public sector gender budgeting बट बाकी challenges भी है क्या ये schemes की effective implementation हो पा रही है नहीं हो पा रही are we properly monitoring the changing trends or not and then safety of women definitely that is one thing not just again ये एक part है of promoting their economic participation but what about the other challenges related to women safety again about their जब हम बात करते हैं the social behavior towards them or the element of patriarchy, are the social reforms also taking place on similar lines or not?
When physics merged with biology to revolutionize ophthalmology. So, ophthalmologists, deeply familiar with the intricate workings of the eye, do not typically have the leisure time to spend in a physicist lab studying theories behind laser. Yet these two seemingly disparate fields combine to modernize vision correction in refractive errors and cataract surgeries. So mainly it is regarding the laser that is done for the correction of eye. So myopia and hypermetropia. Hypermetropia is known as short-sightedness और myopia is known as long-sightedness. Myopia में concave lens use होता है and hypermetropia में convex. इमेज कहाँ पे फॉर्म होती है मायोपिया में और हाइपरमेट्रोपिया में रेटिना के आगे और पीछे So this is regarding chirp pulse amplification. So ये technique है that revolutionized the field of laser physics to amplify ultra short laser pulses without damaging the amplifying material. So eye anatomy. So this is just regarding the integration.
And lasers are also being used in cancer therapy also. The high intensity lasers, they will promise in cancer therapies also. So they can destroy the cancerous cells with extreme precision and minimizing the damage to other healthy tissues. So ultra short laser pulse onto a tiny area, they can be pointed to destroy that. Okay, next article.
Next, why disconnecting from work is important for mental health. This is regarding break, how it is required. For average work week lasts 47.7 hours in India, 13 hours more than that in Germany. So कैसे leisure time break that is required to refresh oneself.
So this will also impact even the workers' productivity also.
Efficiency.
We are seeing 13 hours more than Germany. So this we can say एक advantage भी है of human demographic dividend या the human workforce that is there. But again managing or again disconnecting जब हम बात करते हैं even short trips or short holidays जैसे holiday weekends की हम बात करते हैं तो it is important to stay disconnected from work also and have less of screen time at the same time. So we need to promote this again. Let's say ILO में we are seeing कि number of working hours per week average ILO figures हैं. The Neem Hans is important when we're talking about the mental health, and even the interest of the workers in the unorganized sector, because India maybe have 90% of the workforce employed in unorganized sector. Then again, even the size of gig economy is also increasing. So putting workers at risk physically and mentally.
And ILO data, it says that India ranks among the top 10 countries when it comes to the number of hours worked per week. So among top 10 countries. And क्या क्या इसमें मेजर चीजें हैं, जैसे कि अनसोशल या फिर इनफ्लेक्सिबल आवर्स का होना. Time पर you cannot get the leave. It is very tough for the stress of the wages that are earned. These are the side challenges which contribute to stress. Proper socialization ना होना, time ना दे पाना, it affects your sleep and even eating habits, which further impacts the mental health. You see, recently there was also a statement that was a remark made by a leader regarding the working of 70 hours. कि 70 hours का work होना चाहिए per week.
And जैसे ऑस्ट्रेलिया में भी we are seeing कि it is becoming a right of the employees, right to disconnect. So it should become a right again. Okay, next.
We have ended here. Thank
Okay.
you for joining. We will continue in the next session.